Hey everybody, this is Chris and thanks for checking out another one of my videos. This time I want to teach you about some of the most commonly mispronounced words with silent letters in English, because you might know that a lot of words in English actually have letters that you don't say. So in this video we're going to go over some of the common patterns. I don't want to call them rules because there are always exceptions to rules in English, but if you learn some of these patterns, then you'll be pronouncing words right more of the time and you'll be able to avoid some common mistakes. Don't forget, if you haven't already, you can click the link below this video in the description to sign up with your email address and you can take my free mini pronunciation course to improve your British accent in the shortest time. So go ahead and do that if you haven't already, and then let's get into today's video. So the first pattern I want to talk about is when you have a B followed by a T. And in this kind of situation, often the B is not pronounced. For example, doubt. We don't say doubt, we say doubt. Doubt. Are Arsenal going to win the match? I doubt it. We could often say, I doubt it. Debt is another common one. It's not debt, it's debt. Debt. So you can see in the pronunciation guide, it's just D-E-T there. Have you got any debt? This means money that you owe to somebody. Subtle means very small. There are subtle differences between the two twins. Very small. That's what it means. We don't say subtle, it's subtle. Have you ever pronounced that one wrong? Another common pattern is when you have a B after an M. The B is often silent. For example, lamb. Mary had a little lamb. This is a common kids' nursery rhyme. Comb is another example. Comb. I comb my hair every morning. We don't say comb, comb. And thumb, like thumbs up, giving somebody a thumbs up. Next is when C comes after S. So often in this situation, the C would be a silent letter. For example, in science. I love science class. So the C is silent. Also in muscle. After I go to the gym, I have sore muscles. Muscle. The next one is fascinating. So we don't say fascinating, we say fascinating. The documentary was fascinating. The next one is when you have a D with a G-E after it. Usually the D will be silent. For example, bridge. We don't say bridge, we just say bridge. Bridge. Also in edge. Edge. For example, don't get too close to the edge. So the next one is when you have a D with another consonant after it. The D is often not pronounced. For example, Wednesday. A lot of learners will want to say Wednesday or Wednesday, but it should be Wednesday. It's got when at the beginning. So the D is not pronounced at all. I'll see you on Wednesday. Also, grandfather. We don't say grandfather. We say grandfather. This is a photo of my grandfather. It looks like you should say the D because it's in the middle of the word. You want to say it, but it's too difficult to say. It takes too much energy to say that, so we miss it out. The next one is handsome. So we don't say handsome, handsome. We say handsome, handsome. He's very handsome. And sandwich, sandwich. So some people might still say sandwich, sandwich. And in some of these cases, it's not wrong to pronounce the D. It just takes more effort and not everybody would do it. So a lot of people would say sandwich, like, would you like a sandwich? But if you said, would you like a sandwich? It wouldn't be wrong. The next one is when you have an N after a G. So in this case, the G is generally silent. For example, foreign. Foreign. We don't say foreign. Foreign. You should learn a foreign language. Also in resign. Resign. This word could actually be pronounced resign, but in general, you'll be saying resign. Anyway, the G is not pronounced. The next one is gnome. Gnome. So this has got the G at the beginning of the word. So we don't say gnome. We say gnome. And a gnome is actually one of the little men, one of the little figures that you see British people putting in their garden. I don't know why everybody wants to put these things in their garden. A lot of people think they look ugly. I think they look ugly, but some people like to put a gnome in their garden. I don't know if you've seen them. Maybe not if you haven't been to the UK. But the G is not always silent, so there are a lot of exceptions to this rule. Sign has a silent G. But if you say signature, we don't say signature, it should be signature. For example, can you write your signature here? So in this case, the G is not silent at all, so be careful. Another combination you have to be careful of is CH, because sometimes this is pronounced ch, like in charm, charm, but in charisma, it's pronounced as a silent H. So we don't say charisma or charisma. We say charisma, charisma. So in this case, it's silent. This one is also not a hard and fast rule, but sometimes H is silent when it comes after C. For example, architect, somebody who designs and draws plans of buildings. An architect. I want to be an architect. Also in chemical, we don't say chemical, it's chemical, not like in a lot of other languages, so you could get confused here. Chaos, this is a word that is often pronounced wrong. It's not chaos or chaos, it should be chaos. Chaos. Also echo, echo. For example, is there an echo in here? This is when your voice sounds back. You can hear yourself repeated. Echo, not echo. Echo. Also in choir. A lot of people get this word wrong. It should be choir, not choir or anything like that. So in this case, it's also a silent H. But just for example, in architect, this is pronounced arc. But if we just say A-R-C-H, it would be arch. So again, not always silent. Most of the time, an H is silent if it comes after a W. For example, who, when, what. We don't say what. Most of the time, it's just what, where, why, and which. Some of the most common question words in English have a silent H. Also in words like hour, hour, when the H is followed by a verb. So hour, for example, I'll see you in an hour. Also honest, this is not honest. It should be honest. Honest. She's a very honest person. And in ghost, here the silent letter is in the middle of the word. Ghost. Ghost. Have you seen a ghost? Also in high, and sometimes the word might end in I-G-H-T, which is pronounced ite, like in light, fight, and sight all have a silent H. L is another sound which is often silent, especially before K and before F at the end of the word. For example, walk. I'm going for a walk. Talk. I talk to my mum every day. And before F in half. Half a slice of cake. We don't say half, we say half. Also before N, K is often silent. Like in no, knife. We don't say knife. It should be knife, knee, and knot. As in tie a knot in a piece of string. Okay, the next one is when a P comes before an S, it is often silent. For example, at the beginning of the word in psychology. Psychology. This is often not silent in other languages, but it is in English, so a lot of learners get confused with this. This should be psychology. We stress the ko. Psychology. And psychiatrist. Somebody who will help you to diagnose your psychological problems, your problems with your mindset. You might go and see a psychiatrist. The next one is that N is often silent when it comes after M. For example, in autumn. However, there is another word, autumnal, which means something that happens in the autumn. And in this word, it's actually not silent. This is not a 100% rule. Also in column, for example, Greek-style columns in ancient Greece. They like to build columns. Sometimes T can be silent in the middle of the word. For example, in listen, in S-T-E-N, listen. Also in castle. Castle, S-T-L-E is pronounced sul. Castle. And also in often. This can sometimes be pronounced often, but it can also sometimes be pronounced often. So in this case, there are actually two possible pronunciations. So one to be careful of. A lot of students make mistakes with words with a silent U. For example, build. Also, words which come from the same root or the same family can often have similar pronunciation, but not always. For example, here we have build, build, built. It's the past tense. The building was built by builders. Builders. So these are all pronounced build with B in the middle. The U is silent. Also, U can be silent after G. For example, in disguise, guard, guess, not guess. It should be guess, like can you guess what it is? Guilty. Guide, for example, a tour guide, somebody who takes you to different places when you go on holiday. And guitar, this is not guitar or guitar, it should be guitar. We stress the second syllable, ta, guitar. Here are two other common words that have a silent U in the UIT form. Biscuit, this is not biscuit, it should be biscuit, and also circuit is similar. So here the C-U-I-T is pronounced kit. This is a common pattern to learn. In the top two words, the W is pronounced like swan and swallow. But in sword, it's silent. Sword. For example, the knight held a sword in his hand. So often there are just exceptional words that you just have to learn and remember the pronunciation so you don't get it wrong. And one more pattern for you. When R comes after W, most of the time it's not pronounced. For example, in write, write me a postcard, write me a letter. Also in wrong, sorry, that's the wrong answer. In both of these, the W is silent. Other words that are common, like wrist, is this part of your arm, between your arm and your hand. This is your wrist, silent W. Wrestle means to fight, watching wrestling on the TV. And wriggle. Wriggle means moving around, squirming around like a worm or like a small child who can't sit still. This is wriggle. Stop wriggling. I'm trying to help you to put on your clothes, for example. Okay, so these are some of the major patterns to do with silent letters. I hope you learned something new from this video and it helped you to correct some of your mistakes. If you liked it, please do help me to click the like button and also subscribe to my channel for all of my latest updates. And that's all. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.